Phase 2 is right around the corner. At the moment of filming this video there is no release date so far, yet we can assume Phase 2 is releasing around mid-January to early February. But until we know more about the changes coming to the game, let's talk about the 3 most important things Blizzard needs to work on for incoming Season 2. This video contrasts my last video talking about the things that make Season of Discovery great right now. I want to use this video to give constructive feedback and try to brainstorm with you on how Blizzard can improve on the issues that came in Phase 1 in my opinion. Before we start, let me ask you one question. What do you think needs to improve in Phase 2 for you? And without further ado, let's get to my top 3 things Blizzard needs to work on in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery. Number 1. The new PvP event. Let's first have a recap about the Ashenvale PvP event. The Ashenvale PvP event was promised as a huge, large-scale PvP battle, turning Ashenvale into a battle zone. Yet it turned out to be a PvE, AFK, camping simulation, reputation farm. That does feel more like a chore than an interactive event to go for, especially after there have been several bugs such as faction leaders bugging out so you could not finish the event properly, or event progress setting back to lower percentages so you have to wait for the start of the event for 30 minutes or more. Or after Blizzard addressed those issues by taking away dynamic layering and then bumping down the event progress. So you had one event happening every 4 to 6 hours on my server at least. Up until that point, I decided to ditch the event on my behalf. I was lucky to spam the event before it got buggy in the beginning of the season, but at this point I can't be asked to attend at the event anymore. I must say I have had some good battles between Catapult and Glaive area, but to be honest, the issue with large scale PvP is that it is a numbers game, so most of the time it is just rolling over the other faction. Yet it has been the only touch of PvP battle I've been getting in. Let's talk about the possible PvP event scenarios that I see coming for Phase 2. On the one hand, there is possibility for a PvP event in Arathi Highlands. What I would want to see is something such as a Capture the Flag or King of the Hill type event that happens between Refugee Post and Hammerfall. I think it is important that there is something happening between those areas, so it provides a balanced access for both factions. Since Horde had a definitive flight point advantage in Ashenvale and they were more flexible moving around. I've seen some thoughts in this community talking about an event in Stormguard Keep, but I think this could be unbalanced, because Horde would always have to walk past Refugee Point to attend the event or use the South Shore flight point. It would also fit with an upcoming farm for the Arathi Basin PvP faction, and Arathi Basin being our main battleground in Phase 2. The other scenario that has been talked about by the community is a PvP event in Stranglethorn Vale. Yet I see a lot of issues with Stranglethorn as a zone for that. First, it is a very broad zone, and again Alliance has issues with flight points in that, and it is a big leveling zone, and we can already see in Ashenvale that questing in the main zone for the PvP event is not a good thing to go for. So I will go with my Arathi Highlands take. Blizzard's most important thing to do is to turn this event into an interactive event where the entire player base has something to do, and that also includes the time that leads us into the event. How about little micro events like killing mini bosses or the bases we have in Hellfire Peninsula, for example, giving us some valuable buffs in the zone or for the upcoming event even? Or how would it be if honorable kills would grant you some reputation, or you would collect a currency that you can turn in for reputation? I think that would make players engage with the PvP event more and make it more like a PvP zone. Let's talk about the event itself. Blizzard is happy with the PvE focus of the content. If that is the case, still make it more engaging and important to get into that event and prevent players from AFKing outside of the event. Make it that they need to tag the bosses or be in the zone where the event is happening. And most importantly, the event needs to work properly. There's nothing more frustrating than waiting 1 to 2 hours on an event that bugs out, especially if you don't have much time to spare anyways. I'm just throwing some ideas in the room. How would your perfect PvP event for Phase 2 look like? Tell me in the comments. Let's talk about the second thing Blizzard needs to improve on. Point number 2. The reputation farm for our new reputations, named Azeroth Commerce Authority or Durotar Supply and Logistics. Let me be honest, I don't really know what Blizzard's thought is with this faction. This reputation farm is so tedious and unnecessarily complex, and I don't really understand why it has to be that way. Why are we able to stack finished whaler supplies, but why can't we stack unfinished ones? If it is the case that Blizzard wants to make us grind this reputation very slowly, why not just make the reputation rewards be way lower than it is now? But please, Blizzard, let us stack the supplies. The only way to properly farm this reputation is to grind some mobs or farm chests, buy the items you need, fly back to your city, hand it in, and repeat. This feels absolutely shit to do. I got honored on my main, and god did it hurt. And even if Blizzard wants us to have it as a side grind, it still does feel bad having a waylaid supply in your bags and dropping another one, and not being able to hand them in and leaving them in the courts. In my opinion, we should just be able to stake the waylaid supplies as much as we want, and if the goal is to do this grind slowly, then just lower the reputation reward. I'm already scared for the grind to revere it if it stays that way. And a big prayer goes out to the people who got through this shit of a grind to honored early phase to get their rune. To wake up the next morning realizing it got lowered to friendly. What is your reputation with the new faction, and did you enjoy the farm so far? This was a quick one because I think it is pretty clear Blizzard does not really have looked at this reputation at all, and it feels very unplanned and empty so far. The next point is bigger and way more complex, and I know it has been a problem forever, but I haven't been confronted as hard with it as I did within the last weeks of Season of Discovery. Point number 3. Botting. I know, botting is a very difficult topic in different games, not only World of Warcraft. Yet, I still want to point it out in this video if Blizzard wants to keep the integrity of World of Warcraft Classic and possibly even Classic Plus. There's two key points to this issue. On the one hand, the demand of bots. Gold buying is the first reason for botters to even exist, so the first goal for Blizzard should be to focus on banning and preventing gold buying in the first place. On the other hand, it's the bots themselves. There are so many bots running around and flying around in the game right now, making the game feel weird in my opinion. The best way to deal with it in my vision is to use actual game masters again. I think there would be a lot of people doing this in the community, or you could even make it a small job you get paid for, but we don't know the business side on Blizzard's behalf on that. If bots keep inflating the economy, I can see the inflating prices on any item make it hard for new and casual players to catch up with that and gatekeep them. And with raids getting more and more valuable and prestige loot, there will be more GDKPs going on, gatekeeping players from just raiding. There is not a lot of GDKPs going on my server right now, but will it stay that way? Let me be clear, I don't have anything against GDKP in general, but if there would be no gold selling, would there be so much GDKP as it is in current Vanilla Classic? I don't think so. Yet a lot of people claim the GDKPs to be the main issue. They are an abomination of that in my opinion. Blizzard seriously has to deal with that because an inflating economy is an issue that definitely hits the player base Season of Discovery is aimed at. The casuals. As I pointed out in my last video, the casual player base can be very happy about the current state of Season of Discovery, and it should stay that way. It is an issue that will keep on growing and growing with every phase. So do us a favor and report every bot you see in the game and let us make Blizzard aware of that. Okay, let's wrap this video up. Before we do that, answer me this last question. Do you agree on the things I pointed out in this video? What do you think Blizzard needs to improve on in Phase 2? I will make sure to read every comment and wish to have a constructive discussion in the comments. And that's all from me in this video. If this video gave you any value, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to this channel. If you want to watch me live on Twitch, check my description, I stream regularly on there. If you want to see what I think are the things that are great about Season of Discovery so far, you can click on the video on the left right now. If you want gold farms that you probably didn't know about to avoid these scummy bots, you can click on the video on the right. And for now, I wish you a Merry Christmas, enjoy the holidays with your friends and family, and we will see us in the next one.